Right, so I'm going to show you how to make a snare, but out of what I've got here is picture wire, and it's a 7-strand picture wire, 6 strands brass, 1 strand steel, and it says it's number 3, so I can't actually tell you the gauge, but it says number 3, and that is the gauge. Maximum load 18 kilograms or 40 pound. So that's plenty strong enough for rabbits, but for a couple of reasons we're going to want to unravel this first, because instead of just doing a loop like that, we're going to put an eyelet on it, and this is the way you do it if you want it to be UK legal. Sorry, not UK legal, English legal, because Scotland's got slightly different laws to us up there. So this is just an eyelet which has been bashed down. You can buy these offline, so it's just an eyelet, if you can see, and it's been bashed down one side, both sides, so the wire will go over it and won't come off, if that makes sense. Right, so I'm going to I've made a loop this end. I'm going to put a screwdriver through there. I'm going to put a screwdriver through the other end. So 2 loops. And then I'm going to show you how to unravel it. Because we're going to want to put this in the middle of the strands rather than just put an eyelet on the end. I'll show you. So I'm going to put, I've got the 2 pieces, that's going to go on the floor without getting a great kink in it, and then all I'm doing is holding this in my hand and spinning it. And you just got to spin it the way. Alright, let's just see what way this wants to go. If you start spinning it and it tightens up, which I think that is, so you've got to go the other way. And you keep that in there, keep it relatively tight, and then just keep spinning, and you'll spin it undone eventually. Takes a bit of time. Hold up. Might stand up. Right, that's coming undone now. You'll see it is. Like I said, it takes a bit of time, but this is why people buy just single strands of it and they make their own like that. But if you happen to be somewhere what's got picture hanging wire, at least you know you'll be able to make some. Like I said, people probably said, why don't you just put this washer, the eyelet on the end, and just wrap it round, but you'll be surprised what animals can undo those by pulling them. But with this being in the middle, and this is going to snap the whole lot, it ain't going to come out, or it ain't going to undo it. See, it's undoing it now. You may need to do this if you get some brass wire and you've got some in your survival tin and you realise that it's too thick to actually catch anything with. This is a good thing to know to do anyway, because you can often buy snare wire, what seems like snare wire. Right, now I think that's as much as that's going to come undone, because I think it's started to go back the other way. So as you can see now, that's coming undone now. I'm going to take your screwdriver off each end, maybe hold it with a pair of pliers and undo the rest of it. Watch your eyes when you're doing this. Watch your eyes and watch your fingers, because these will soon stab you in the ends of your fingers or down the back of your nail. That hurts. I'm just going to cut that off to save me unraveling it. So we want to take that steel one out, because it's not actually what we want for this. You can tell the steel one is a different colour. Right, now you got 6. Now grab hold of 3 of them and pull on 3 of them, and hopefully right, how many have we got there? One, 2. I think we got 3 there. Where have we? I suppose you could make a 2-strand snare maybe for a squirrel. Well, that's 2. We need 1 more. It's best to hold 2 and then pull them from the end like that. You need to hold these 2 at the other end. Right down there. Just lay that there. Right, so if I've got the right lengths, should have, yeah, that's it, 3 the same. So now you've got your 3. We want to make this 6 strand, so find the middle, getting pretty good, like that. Get your eyelet and put that, and drop it, put that in there, and you want to get this bit tight, start twisting it around it. You could put something through it, get your pair of pliers, but you don't want to do this too, don't do it too much in case you break your wire or anything. Should be right, eh? Right, so I can show you this. And that's going to make it much easier for your wire to run through, and this is going to make this legal as well. So now what I do, put something back through there, stand on that again. Might have to bring this camera down a bit. Now in a survival situation, if you obviously you are not going to have eyelets, so you could do it without it, but you're going to need to make your loop like really decent. We'll do another video about that later. Now the same way you wrapped that is the way you want to start winding this up again, which hopefully I'm going the right way. I think I was. We'll just keep doing that anyway. Because you got to put the eyelet in the in a legal one, because if you don't, what will happen is when an animal gets caught in a snare, if you've got an eye, like an eye just made out of the snare wire, it will tighten. It tightens around the other part of the snare and just becomes like a lock-in snare, which is illegal then. But in a survival situation, that may be something you may want. But we're doing this, you know, legally, responsibly. Right, watch out for that. So now we've got our eye on, and that's all wrapped up. Could have probably maybe wrapped up a little bit more. So now I want to undo this part again. This is what the screwdriver was wrapped around. Get that open. Put that back through that eye now. And you see how easy that runs. Now I've got just a drill bit. I'm going to wrap that over. Make sure you've left enough that it can still open. Wrap that a couple of times. I'm going to put it back through the eye of it. Then back down again, and then carry on wrapping it around again. God, I'm dropping it. Doesn't matter so much if this end gets pulled tight, as long as it doesn't get pulled open. And you see how easily it runs, but also it will let go again, look, which that makes it legal in England. Now I'll just give you a demo on this. So this is the brass wire as it was. You get it, put it over, do a loop, wrap it around like that. You could do this in a survival situation. This has got to be wrapped around quite a fair bit. Alright, so you got that. Now that loop itself can tighten up. Look, you look carefully. Yeah. So that's itself is tightening up. And then what happens is the animal gets caught, it pulls that, it pulls this one, and that all locks into place, and then it won't undo at all, which that's illegal. Maybe you might not be so bothered about that if your life depended on it and it was a survival situation. Right, now I'll just show you a bit to put on that end, and then later on we'll do another video about setting them or whatever. So just, a lot of people use like garden twine, but this is like Webtex paracord. So I'll just put that over there. It's one way to do it. Put both of those through there, and it should work, if I remember right. Now that's over there. Can't remember what this knot's called, or what this. Get that tight. Now you can attach that to whatever it is you're attaching it to. So that is basically it. And you attach this to whatever we're going to attach it to, but I'll show you that later. You see how they hold pretty good, you know, they stand up straight. Stand up decent. But they slide easy and they let off as well. The only thing I would say is just got to remember with snaring it's indiscriminate and we'll just trap and kill whatever goes through it. So if you're going to do this in England or wherever you are, check all your laws before you do it, because you'll get in big trouble if you don't. Unless you're making these to put in a survival kit or a bug out bag. But you're still going to want to make them and learn how to set them, and make sure if you are going to use them you must have all permission, know what you're doing, and try and learn as much as you can beforehand, because these will just, you know, strangle, kill anything. They don't pick and choose who they're going to get, so you need to set them in the right places so it don't get certain animals if possible. And it's best in life, no matter what, to only kind of trap if you have to. You know, don't really do it for, I don't think no one really traps for sport anyway, but it's best not to. Only do these kind of things if you really have to, or make them for your bug out bag. Right, hopefully that wasn't too confusing, and hopefully you understood it as well and I didn't leave any major parts out. You can just buy reels of brass wire which will come just as single strands like that, depending on what gauge, whatever you buy it, but that could all get a bit confusing, so you could get yourself some picture wire, which will still do it, but you just kind of want to follow that method what I did. You could probably still use this the steel core for something. Right, anyway, cheers for watching, I'll see you later. Actually, one other thing, the one we took the steel core out of stands up lovely, just like it's meant to. Now this one, this is the one with the steel core still in it. You notice how you see it doesn't seem to lay right. It seems to twist more and wants to suddenly slam shut itself sometimes, just starts going over. So you want to take that steel core out, and it seems to work better, much better without that in it. See how it's shooting forward? That's the steel core in there, making it act all weird. Right, anyway, thanks for watching, see you later.